Hey people, it's L coming back at y'all with another video. This one is about dreams. We back into the dreams. The last 5 videos I gave y'all was along the lines of Bible studies and telling y'all about things that happen in our community or that has been said in our community that I just don't agree with. Like strangers can't be part of the kingdom, and or that Yeshua slash Jesus name crap that people be mixing up, so that was that. Now this is my regularly scheduled programming. This is what I do. And while I was making those videos, a lot of things was taking place in real life. I had a lot of dreams that I was itching to get off because these things is real. And on top of that, I had a lot of spiritual warfare in real life while awake. So I'm gonna get into all of that in these next 5 videos, hopefully. So let's go. So the first dream I'm gonna give y'all, I'm gonna give it to y'all in order, and I'm gonna be as meticulous as possible. So I had a dream that I was on my grandmother's block, Elder and Watson. That's where she lived before she passed away. I'm standing on the corner on Watson and Elder, and I see some kids. Some kid told me to walk with them, so I start walking with them. We walk all the way up to Morrison and Soundview Park. If you're familiar with the area, then you know. So we get to the park, and in the park is a big party going on. So we cut through the party. We see people dancing. I see people with glow sticks. People high, they doing what they do. We get to the front, there's a Jamaican dude in the booth. And there's music blasting and all of that. It's a Jamaican dude in the booth, and he gives us drugs. He gives us weed, and he gives us blow. I'm going to be as straightforward with this as possible. He gives us weed, and he gives us blow. But I put the weed and the blow in my pocket. And now I'm looking around like this. And when I'm looking around like that, it's like the Jamaican dude is observing me, and he see that I'm not under a spell like the rest of the people, that I'm not asleep like the rest of the people, that my soul is awake. So he gets angry at the dude who brought me. So I'm going to stop this here real quick to tell you, again, and if you go through my videos, I always say this: when you're living in sin, you got a whole bunch of demons, you got a whole bunch of sorcerers, witches, warlocks, people who are into all types of occult activity, who harvest souls, who is basically harvesting your soul, or keeping you blind, or doing things with you spiritually, because you don't know. When you go to sleep every night, you don't know what's going on. It's war in the spirit world for real. When he said he came to set the captives free, this is real, because these things have some kind of sway or power over your spirit, man, when you're not awake, when you're not prayed up and all of that. So let's back to the video that I'm saying. I'm not going to linger on that, because this whole 5 videos I'm going to be lingering on that. So he's mad at the dude who brought me. So as they're talking, he comes around the booth to talk to him. And I started like leaving, because it's like I just started drifting. You know how you walk slow and expect somebody to keep up with you? But he wasn't. He was talking to the Jamaican dude, and I knew the Jamaican dude was chewing him out about bringing me, because I wasn't under the spell like everybody else. And when you're not under the spell, you're dangerous to that atmosphere, because if I rebuke them, that'll shut something down for them. That'll mess stuff up. And I don't know what happens to them when things get messed up, but I think it's bad. I'm pretty sure it is, because in many dreams I've seen that some of them, once I get to a certain point in my prayer life, they don't even want me. They'll be thirsty to get me out of there. Well, this is kind of similar too. So now I leave the party area that's going on. I never do the drugs. I knew in my spirit, man, that I don't do drugs no more. Thank God I knew that much. I'm like, I don't do drugs no more, but I put it in my pocket. You go with things in dreams. So now I'm walking, and he's in the background talking to the Jamaican dude. So now I start to leave. I get back to Watson Avenue, and I walk back down Watson, back towards where my grandmother's building used to be. I come to her apartment building. I go in her apartment. I go knock on the door. Some girl opened the door like, "We don't want you here no more." Mind you, no one lives in our apartment today at all. I never met this girl in my life. These are spiritual entities who probably attached themselves to me, dealing in those areas, I want to say. This is real. So I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore anyway. I just want my stuff. I went and grabbed my stuff, and then I came out the building. Now I'm looking at the building across the street. We used to have a lot of fun in that building too. So I'm looking at the building across the street. Now I make my way up the block towards the train station and the bus station. And then I wake up in real life. And then I go to work. I come home, I have my normal day, then I go back to sleep. Now I'm still at that bus station. It picks up right at that bus station that I just left that block. I had to add that just to say this. It picks up right at that bus station. So now I'm not catching the bus and I'm not going upstairs to get the train or whatever. So I call a Uber. I call the Uber guy. The Uber guy come and pick me up in a van. It was a silver van. He comes pick me up in a silver van or a tan van or whatever. And it's one of them Astro van looking vans. So he picks me up in one of those. And I asked him to take me like 6 blocks. I could have walked it, but I asked him to drive me because I didn't want to wait for the train or the bus or whatever the case was. I asked him to drive me. So I only have like a $50 bill, and you don't really see $50 bills, but that's what I had to have in a dream, it seemed like. So he tells me the price was like an outrageous price. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay you that price to go 6 blocks, bro. I'm not doing that. So he's driving me. I said, take me to a store so I could get change. So he takes me to a store I could get change. So he drives like three of the 6 blocks up. He takes me to a store so I could get change, so I could break it. So now I go into a store and it's a Chinese people running the store. Chinese people don't usually run bodegas or delis in this form of fashion that I seen in a dream. So I go into the bodega inn or deli and I give them my American $50 cash, and they give me back some Chinese bandanas or Chinese banners. I'm gonna show you what they gave me back, because I don't want to freestyle. I'm gonna show exactly what I found on the internet that resemble what they gave me as currency. They gave me this back as currency. This is what they gave me back as currency. So now they gave me a fistful of them. I got them in my hand like, yo, what's this? He said, you could spend it anywhere. So I gave him my American money. They gave me those Chinese banners back as cash, as currency. So now I got these things in my hand. I'm like, yo, what the crap? So then he told me, yeah, you can spend it anywhere right now. I was like, all right. I didn't even talk about it. I just walked out. Now I see the cab driver dude or the Uber driver dude, and I give him some of those Chinese banner currency things as cash. He accepts it. Quickly he accepts it. So then he's still arguing with me about more money and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna give you no more cash than what I gave you. So as I'm walking back towards the van thingy that he drove us in, a wind came and blew some of the banners out my hand, some of the Chinese banner currency out my hand, and one of them wrapped around the pole, wrapped around a random pole that was just there. So the dude who drove me in the Uber, he jumps on the floor and he's beasting. He's like going crazy trying to get my cash from wrapped around the pole, and it's my cash. Excuse me, it's my cash. I'm like, yo, why is you trying to beast to get my cash from wrapped around the pole? It got me angry. So I found like a hard object on the floor, and I started hitting him in the head with it. Boom, boom, boom. He did not care that I was hitting him in the head. He must have been hard up for money. I don't know what was going on in his life, but he did not care that I could have beat him to death with that hard object. He would not stop trying to get that money from wrapped around that pole, that Asian currency. So as he's doing that, someone shoots at us. Pow! I'm like, oh my God, someone's shooting at us. So now I look up and I see in front of the Asian grocery store, which we don't have in New York City. We got Arab delis and Dominican grocery stores, bodegas. We don't have too many, if any, Asian ran stores in that form of fashion that I was at. So someone shoots at us. Bah! So now I'm ducking around and looking like, who's shooting at us? I see the Asian people sitting in front of the store, like they sitting on little lawn chairs and little chairs just outside, like the people who affiliates with the people working in the store, but they're not in the store. They outside, just chilling. So a couple of them, they looking around like they don't see nothing. It's some of them playing sleep, like. But I know they up. And I know they know, and it's not like they running from the shooter or nothing. It's like they just don't want to tell me who's shooting. So now the shooting keep going on. This dude is still like going crazy to get my money from wrapped around the pole. So I said, forget it. You can keep my money. I'm getting away from this shooting. I run back to his van. And I go in his van because the van's still open while he's trying to beast to get the cash. So I'm like, I'm going to take your van and get away from the person shooting. That was my thought. But when I open the van door, there's someone sitting in the driving seat already. And I'm like, and it's like my spirit said to me that I knew that person, but I don't know that person. It was a white guy. I didn't know that person. So I jump in the passenger seat and I'm like, yo, go, get out of here. So we take off. And when we take off, we driving slow. We drive off like slow at first, and then we start picking up. I see the dude who was beasting for my cash walking with the red Asian currency in his hand, and we see the shooter on the left-hand side coming from across the street. He's still shooting the whole time. So the dude driving tried to run over the shooter, but as he tried to run over the shooter, he gets shot in the middle of his chest. So when he get hit in the middle of his chest, I'm like, oh man. So I grabs him out of the driver's seat. I don't know if he ran over the dude who was shooting, but the shooter stopped shooting. So I grabbed him out of the driving seat. I jump in the driving seat. I hit reverse because I'm not picking up the dude who had my money in his hand. I'm like, screw him too. So I back up. And then as I'm backing up, a bus was in back of us. I could have hit the bus. So I'm like, hit the brake. And then I hit the U-turn so I could get away from the scene frantically. So I hit that U-turn. So I clear the bus, and now I'm on the other side of the street going back the other way. The shooter never shot at us again, but I wasn't going to take no chances because I didn't know if he got ran over or if he was on the floor, if he was reloading. I didn't know what was going on. So now I went up a ramp for a highway thinking that was on ramp, but it wasn't. It was an off ramp. So when I went up the ramp for the highway, I had a head-on collision with a big rig truck. So the big rig truck's cabin got totaled. Our van got totaled. Somehow it was like on its side, with the one window sticking up. But in a dream, I see the dude who got shot crawl out. He crawls out that one window, and it's like I still was in there, but I ain't see me crawl out the window or nothing. So I woke up. I went to work. Same thing. I came back home after work. That next night, I have a dream again. I can't make this up. This is real talk. I have a dream again that now I'm in this place. And it's like a big, let's say, warehouse with floors. Like a warehouse with 2 floors. So I'm in a warehouse with 2 floors type place, and I'm arguing with someone who looks like my cousin. Like family, but I don't think that was my family. I think this was another one of these entities or beings, because they could take the form of anybody they want. They usually do take the form of co-workers or family or ex-lovers. They take forms of them people all the time, and you'll be thinking it's them in a dream, and it's not them. And you'll be able to sense when it's someone like you're dreaming of the person, or if it's a demon. This was not my cousin. It was one of them, right? So now I'm talking the word of God to it. And when I talk the word of God to it, I'll blast it, boom. And it'll go flying and land sideways and on all this crap. But then it'll get back up and come towards me relentlessly. And its thing was not to war with me with words, but it wanted to silence me. So after hitting it a couple of times with the word and it flying like that, it was so relentless, I just gave up. I'm like, I gotta get away from this thing because it's trying to just silence me. It's trying to shut me down. So now I'm not gonna preach to it no more. Just stay away from me. But it wouldn't stay away from me. It kept coming towards me. So I went downstairs to get away from it. It came downstairs after me. So now I really don't want to talk and engage no more. So I found out I had a superpower. I shrunk I went small, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I went small. And then I tried to, it's like now I went small, all these buildings are bigger than me. That's how it really looked. And I'm just running, trying to get away from it. So it showed me its superpower. It went invisible. My cousin or whatever that thing was went invisible. So now I'm like, oh, this thing went invisible. And now I feel spooked out because I don't know where it's at. So I pull out another stunt. I start flying, literally flew away from the whole building. I get outside, I fly. Like a bird too, not like Superman, like a bird. I'm flapping wings and all that, flapping arms. I always do that in my dreams when I fly. One time I flew like a dragonfly or a hummingbird where I was able to go. But that's a whole nother story. Well, anyway, so now I'm flying. And now as I'm flying, I fly over these 2 white dudes. I don't know if I still was small or if they were giants, but they look like giants. And they was headed in the direction I was flying, but I flew past them because I'm flying, they walking, so I flew way ahead of them. So I flew until I came up to some river. It was a soft flowing river that was crystal clear, and you could see the bedrock in the water under the water. So the water would come up to your waist or to your knees in certain areas. It was like that. And it was flowing softly. And I'm flying directly in the middle of it, over it. So now as I'm flying, I come across this area where I see a bird box, a human-sized bird box, can't make this up, attached to a fence. The human-sized bird box is attached to a fence on my right-hand side. So I think to myself that that's a secret place. Something tells me that's a secret place for me to hide. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to go in there because I don't know if the dude who turned invisible could fly too, and he followed me. So I don't want no one to see me go in there. I remember thinking that. So I flew past the secret place. And when I flew past the secret place, I saw on the left side of this soft flowing river a cabin. And that cabin was weird. It had weird energy. It felt spooky. It felt weird. It felt eerie. So I was going to land on it, but something told me not to even touch it. So I didn't touch it. So I flew to the right. So when I went to the right, I saw another log cabin a little further ahead. But let me show you what was sitting on top of that cabin. This is why I had to tell this dream too. I saw this sitting on top of that cabin. This. But the body wasn't wiry like that. The body was fat, but the face and the coloring and that long strand hair thing wasn't the same. It was short, but the coloring in his face is what let me know that it was a Chinese dragon, and it was sitting on top of the cabin on the right. Now let me explain this left cabin and this right cabin thing so you can understand. In my dreams, things on the left represent hell or death, right? Death, life to death, or whatever you want to call it, death. And things on right represents life to life, paradise, heaven, whatever you want to call it. The other side of the veil where you get to live in life and live it abundantly. This one is that you gonna live and die forever. This side is usually you gonna live forever. In my dreams, these are what the two sides represent, right? So let me think. If I would have been facing it, yup. So yeah. So this side represents life to death. This side usually represents life to life. If that makes any sense, I'm gonna just leave it there. Now the dragon was sitting on top of the cabin that represents life to life. So what that dragon was doing was trying to stop people from entering life to life. I remember when I started to fly towards it, it saw me and I saw it. And I remember thinking this is an old dragon. It's not young. If it was young, it would have got up and attacked me. But this is an old dragon. It's gonna let me come to it, then it's gonna try to swallow me. I remember thinking that. So what I did was I hit the U-turn and then I landed on the area of the bird box. And when I landed on the area of the bird box, it's like I got a glimpse of the inside of the bird box. I saw a bed for me to sleep in. I saw technology or TV and things like that for me to watch. And I was about to go in, but some guy, he saw me. He's like, and I was angry this guy saw me. I'm like, Dad, somebody spotted me. I ain't want nobody to spot me. Nobody blow me up if anything. So he came up to me and he was like, yo, they trying to get rid of people like you and me. That's what he said to me in a dream, straight up. And then I woke up. But I want to get back to this dragon thing. That dragon was guarding or stopping people from entering into life. Like that was a entity that was basically going to kill or going to delete people who came towards it in order to get life. It was stopping people from entering into life. That was what it was trying or attempting to do. And that dude who said they trying to stop people like you and me, they trying to get rid of people like you and me, that basically ties up to what the dragon was doing. That dragon was trying to stop people like me, people in God, from entering into life by any means. So that's why I sat on the roof of the cabin on the right, which would represent the gate to paradise, the gate to heaven, or the gate to the other side of the veil, which represents heaven, right? So that's what it was doing. So that's basically the two dreams. And I had to mention that birdhouse thing because I be in this birdhouse thing until it goes into the next set of dreams. This is crazy, but that's why I want to walk people through it so they could get a sense of these type of dreams have been happening to me all my life. It's areas I've been in for months. It's areas I've been in for weeks. It's areas I know the area. As soon as I pop up in the dream, I know where to go. I know where everything's at. I know how to get there. It was one place I saw age through time. It was raw when I first got there. And then at the end, it was technology. I've been two places like that where it was nothing when I first was going there, but through time, little things start growing about it, right? So we do travel in the spirit. We travel in the spirit. Things do happen in the spirit world that we have no explanation for. Places do exist in the spirit world that you can visit. You know what I'm trying to get at. Our life is not our own. We're traveling in the spirit. The spiritual realm is real. Your spirit and your soul is more real than this natural flesh body. So you living your life doing the mundane things you do every day, smoking, drinking, partying, that is nothing compared to what's going on in the reality of when you're sleeping or when you're imagining or all this type of stuff ties in. We are another type of technology that we don't even understand. And we dumbing ourselves down by drinking, smoking. Sexual perversion and lust is destroying the crap out of people. And that filth right there that's on you, these things keep you in bondage. These things enable the witches and the warlocks and the demonic spirits to hold you down. If you free yourself from all of this, you start seeing things clearly. You start sounding like how I'm sounding. You'll start understanding that you go places in the spirit. You exist somewhere else in the spirit. When you're up and you're able to go to sleep without any spiritual warfare, that's because you're already under the control of witches, warlocks, sorcerers, or demons. Because once you start waking up, you're going to start battling them to get free. That's why I say he came to set the captives free. Right? So that whole part. In Jesus' name, I love you. Until next time, have a good one. I can't wait to get into the next set of dreams because these dreams are crazy, and some of the things that have happened to me while awake in this apartment right here, and every apartment I go through it, no matter where I go, because I start confronting the spirit world. And a lot of people's afraid of the front line, but you're gonna have to come to the front line. This lets you know that it's real. If this is not happening in your life, then you're in a dangerous place, people. All right, I'm sorry to say. Have a good one. Until next time, God bless you in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, to the glory of Yahuwah, Jehovah.